Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to begin. And namaskar, good afternoon to all of you, dear friends and colleagues. I'm Indrani Kashyap, and on behalf of India's premier nursing and midwifery professional organizations, the All India Government Nurses Federation, Trained Nurses Association of India, Society of Midwives India, the Indian Nursing Council, and JPIGO, it's my proud privilege to welcome you to the launch of this unique campaign, which is by and for India's nurses and midwives, and it aims to bring to light their true profile, status, and contribution in this country of more than 1.3 billion people. We have a great agenda lined up for you today, so let me quickly go through some basic housekeeping rules. Request the audience to please stay on mute and keep your videos off so that we can see and hear our speakers clearly. Please post your questions or comments in the chat box with your name and contact email. The agenda today may not allow for questions from the audience, but the organizing team will be saving the entire chat, and we will go through your questions and comments in detail and get back to you as soon as possible. And finally, we would like to inform you that this meeting is being recorded and will be shared via the campaign's social media channels. So with that, let me hand over to Dr. Bulbul Sood, Senior Strategic Advisor, JPIGO, to present the inaugural address, please. Dr. Bulbul Sood is a public health professional with more than 40 years of experience, a global figure in the fields of family planning, maternal health, and reproductive health. Her expertise in advocacy, negotiation, and diplomacy are highly reputed. She was the founding country director of JPIGO in India, a position she recently transitioned from, but continues to provide support and advice on policy, advocacy, strategic partnerships, and new business opportunities for JPIGO globally, in India, and in the region. So, Dr. Sood, it's my proud privilege to hand over the virtual stage to you. Over to you, Dr. Sood.
Thank you very much, Indrani. Good afternoon, namaskar, and good morning to all our friends. Mrs. G.K. Khurana, Secretary General, All India Government Nurses Federation, Dr. Roy George, National President of Trade Nurses Association of India, Mrs. Mitali Adhikari, President, Society of Midwifery in India, Dr. Dilip Kumar, President, Indian Nursing Council, Dr. Asha Sharma, Vice President, Indian Nursing Council, Ms. Sarita Panwar, President, AIGNF, Ms. Shika Malhotra, who is our campaign ambassador, Dr. Pandora Hartman, Chief Nursing and Midwifery Officer at JPIGO, team from First Partner, who are our communication partner, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's my proud privilege on behalf of JPIGO to welcome you all to this very exciting Nurse Midwifery for Change campaign. And again, a very, very warm welcome to all of you. Next, please. So, as the name says, we are wanting to change. What are we wanting to change? Can you move the slide, please? Pushkar, the slide is not moving. So, as I said, what is that we want to change? We want to change the perception of our general public, our leaders, our policymakers about the nursing professions. We are more than just angels. Nurses are highly qualified, college-educated, science professionals of all genders who use their advanced skills and courage to save lives. We are professionals, we are specialists. As you already know, there are 14 we have specialization in nursing from critical care to midwifery to anesthesia and others. Nurses are excellent managers, they are leaders, they are educators, they are teachers, they are the ones who not just do BSc, but MSc, PhD courses, MPH courses. We have also nurses who are excellent researchers, they are innovators, and they collaborate with everyone in the field of science, with whether it is our doctors, our other paramedical workers, with the community. And this is the perception that we want to change, that nurses are not just angels, but they play so many other different roles. Next, please. So why now? And you must be wondering why we are launching this campaign. Can you move the slide, please? Pushkar, yeah. So the reason why we are launching this campaign today is because there are several opportunities which have happened in last 2-3 years. As most of you would be aware, the State of Birth Nursing report was released last year. And this is a report which was developed by WHO with support from International Confederation of Nurses, which talked about what is the status of nurses in the world and what the government and all partners needs to do. This year, another very important report called State of Birth Midwifery report was released, again highlighting what needs to be done for the midwifery, which was led by the UNFPA, WHO, and International Confederation of Midwives. We also know there was a Nursing Now campaign, which was launched 3 years back, again to highlight what nurses and midwives are doing and what further needs to be done. Last year, WHO declared Year of the Nurse and Midwife. And again, this year, WHO released the Global Strategy Direction for Nursing and Midwifery for the period 21 to 25, again highlighting why it is important that we have to invest in this particular cadre. And all the various releases have highlighted the importance of investing in the nursing education, in the jobs, in the leadership, and very clearly articulated that investment will only lead to progress towards the universal health coverage and achieving the SDG goals, including health, but also education, gender, decent work, and economic growth. So our campaign is basically the Nurse Midwife for Change campaign in India is to keep up the momentum in India. Next, please. And this is very important that we keep this momentum now. So the aim of this 360-degree highly visible campaign is twofold. First, to improve the public images of nurses and midwives and impact factors that influence their recruitment, retention, public confidence, and professional identity. And the second one is to gather highest level of support from political leadership, from the policymaker, to move this nursing and midwifery agenda in the current pandemic and immediate future in India. Next, please. So what are we planning to do in this 1 year? Just to give you a bird's eye view of, is that we are planning to produce series of articles, features, editorials, videos, and photo stories. And this will be appearing in the national newspaper as well as the local newspapers. We are planning to have engagement on social media, and as we all know, this is a very important way to reach out to a large group of people through Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Develop very attractive communication material to increase again public focus and awareness around nursing and what is the important role, vital role they play under the universal health coverage. And also we are planning to have a photo competition with our nursing and midwifery colleagues. Next, please. Next. Pushkar, please move the slide. So I just want to say that this campaign is a movement for you, by you. We want active participation for everyone who is involved with this. As Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. So you are the change, you are the ambassador, and we would like you to, take this campaign forward for the next year. Next, please. And as we are saying, you can be the active partner of this campaign from right this minute. Pushkar, please move the slide. Start following the campaign's social media handles on Twitter and Facebook. The social media address is given, as you can see on your screen. We look forward to your active participation, like retweeting and rehashing posts and staying up to date with the campaign as it unfolds. After all, this is, as I said, this is a campaign by you and for you, and let's make it a success together. Thank you very much. Over to you, Indrani.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sood, for that inspiring inaugural address and for so perfectly setting the context for this campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my proud privilege to invite none other than Dr. T. Dilip Kumar to deliver the keynote address. Dr. Dilip Kumar really needs no introduction, as he's one of the most prominent nursing leaders in our country. He is the president of Indian Nursing Council, the national regulatory body for nursing education in India, and member of the International Council of Nurses. In a rich career spanning more than 43 years, he has held several prominent positions, including that of the project director of the Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Tuberculosis, and Malaria, as well as that of the nursing advisor to the Government of India. He was the first nursing professional from India to become a member of the Global Advisory Committee of the World Health Organization, one among many of his firsts that are to his credit. As the president of Indian Nursing Council, he has initiated many reforms in the functioning of INC and started many projects like development of a quality assurance model in nursing, development of a national consortium of PhD in nursing, nurse midwifery practitioner program, nurses census, development of syllabus for various nursing specialty programs. He's also secured a mutual recognition of assessment with the Singapore Nursing Board. There are many more accolades to Dr. Dilip Kumar, but in the interest of time, let me cut it short and hand it over to Dr. Dilip Kumar himself for his much awaited keynote address. Over to you, Dr. Dilip Kumar.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, perfectly audible.
Okay. Friends, first of all, I would like to congratulate JPAGO for taking this I would like to congratulate JPAGO for taking a path-breaking decision to be a partner in this important first time in the history of nursing in India for launching this campaign. And you all know the what context we are there in India with reference to the nursing and midwifery. Lot of activities which are taking place in India, and especially the latest one, the path-breaking decision of the government of India under the National Health Mission has rolled out the midwifery guideline, and whatever the Indian Nursing Council on a pilot basis started the nurse practitioner midwifery program in West Bengal. Now this has been accepted by the government of India, and they have followed the Lancet evidence. If you properly train the midwives with the International Confederation of Midwives competencies, they will be able to prevent the 83% of the maternal and neonatal deaths. So this Lancet evidence, which has been given globally, and the government of India has taken this initiative of launching out the midwifery guidelines and taken announced the policy decision of training the 84,000 the nurse practitioner midwives in India. And we have already JAPAGO and Indian Nursing Council, UNFPA, Ministry of Health with other stakeholders. We have already formulated the nurse practitioner midwives curriculum and scope of nursing practice, scope of midwifery practice. It is the first one to be approved between the Indian Nursing Council and the government of India, which has been launched recently. This is going to be a first thing, and also the next is nurse practitioner critical care program. So in this whole context, in Indian scenario, now we are moving towards the specialization with these two nurse practitioner critical care program and nurse practitioner midwifery program. There are a lot of other are in the pipeline for the different specialty programs. And globally, you all know that how Nightingale Challenge Nursing Now campaign for the last 3 years has created a setting at the global level to to improve the status of the profile of the nursing globally. And for the first time, as I already mentioned, that the initiator of this whole process of the Nightingale Challenge and Nursing Now campaign globally, none other than the Lord Nigel Crisp, who is the main initiator from the UK, and took this proposal to after collecting the evidence how the nurses and midwives are contributing for the healthcare delivery system globally, and there is a need to improve their profile and capture the evidence-based nursing and midwifery practices they are giving in the healthcare delivery system. And he happens to be the ex-secretary of the National Health Services. He was fully aware of how the contribution of the nurses and midwives. That's how he took this proposal to the WHO and to the International Council for Nurses. And immediately, the World Health Organization took this initiative to commemorate the 200-year birth anniversary of the Florence Nightingale. 2020 has been declared as the year of the nurse and midwife. Unfortunately, due to COVID, the nursing fraternity globally and also in India, we could not celebrate the celebration of International Year of the Nurse and Midwife. And the WHO has again further taken the decision to postpone this celebration to 2021. So we are in the process of, again, still we are in a COVID pandemic. We are not able to actually celebrate, but at least our nurses and midwives globally and also in India has positively contributed in taking care of the COVID patients, and definitely the visibility of the nursing and midwifery profession in the eyes of the public has increased during this COVID-19 pandemic. So therefore, keeping in mind the SON report, State of the World Nursing report, which was released by the WHO, with a theme of main 3 themes have been incorporated in the report: that investment for nursing, creating the nursing positions and leadership, and other 10 major recommendations covering the whole gamut of the nursing sector, and especially with regard to the specialization and the scope of practice to be increased, and they should have a more improvement in the working conditions, more investment for the nursing education, regulations, especially in nursing education and also in the nursing practice. So the gamut of the recommendations which has been reflected in the State of the World Nursing Report, and similarly the State of the World Midwifery Report, which was released this year. Both these reports, the World Health Organization, especially the World Health Assembly, it considered in the virtual World Health Assembly 2021 on May 28th, after 10 years, the agenda of the nursing has been come to the World Health Assembly, and 2021 passed a resolution in the name of Strategic Direction for Nursing and Midwifery 21-25, SDNM 21-25. So the SDNM 25 has captured all the recommendations which have been, both the reports have been reflected, and these recommendations have been circulated, this resolution has been circulated to all the member countries of the WHO, including the India. So therefore, it is now for all the nursing fraternity in India, how best we can take forward this resolution for implementing at the national level and also the state level. So therefore, this launching is very apt and timely to sensitize the public how the nurses are not merely the working at the bedside, they are also specialists. They are already the 2 specialist courses have been approved by the government of India, and also they are the educators, and also they are researchers, and they are also managers, which has been need to be sensitized to the public, so that we should be able to make the sea change in the minds of the people and also the policymakers and the medical fraternity, which they have to work in hand to improve the quality of the healthcare services in India. So in this context, the launch is a campaign, in Indian-centric campaign, which has been launched today, and this will go a long way in the history of nursing in India to improve the profile of the nursing and midwifery in India. And a lot of things are going to be impacted. We are also going to collect the success stories which our nurses and midwives have demonstrated during COVID-19, and also how our the nurses and midwives are working in the specialist area. You know that BBC is also International Council for Nurses, and the BBC also assigned an MOU for global nursing campaign. So in that perspective, this campaign is going to be very significant for India to make the difference, and the more investment, more creation of the nursing positions as per the approved nursing staffing norms, and more positions in the leadership, and vacant posts need to be filled up, and more positions has to be created on the basis of the staffing nursing norm. So therefore, whole nursing fraternity has to come together to make this launch successful, and so that in the eyes of the public, we can make a difference that nurses are the important professionals, though it has been told in all the meetings that nurses are the backbone of the healthcare industry, but still we have to demonstrate and also convince and to see the impact of the recommendation of the State of the World Nursing Report and the World Health Organization Strategic Direction of Nursing and Midwifery, to make it reality not only at the national level and also at the state level. And nursing organization need to be strengthened through this process of the launch. I wish you best of luck for this launch. Once again, I would like to congratulate the JPAGO and other partners who have joined in this initiative, making it to be successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dilip Kumar, for your passionate address and so eloquently explaining the importance, relevance, and timeliness of this campaign. Friends, we now come to another most awaited segment of our program today, the unveiling of the campaign logo and the social media account. So please, can we have the slide of our leaders who are unveiling the logo, please? Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, on your screen, we have Dr. T. Dilip Kumar. The previous slide, please. Previous. Dr. T. Dilip Kumar, President INC, Mrs. G.K. Khurana, Secretary General AIGNF, Professor Dr. Roy K. George, National President TNAI and Director Academics, Baby Memorial Hospital, Kerala, Mrs. Mitali Adhikari, President SOMI, Ms. Shikha Malhotra, nurse and actor, and our campaign's brand ambassador, Dr. Bulbul Sood, Senior Strategic Advisor, Jhpiego India, and Dr. Pandora Hartman, Jhpiego's Chief Nursing and Midwifery Officer. Can we please play the campaign logo reveal video, please? Apologies, I think there is a little bit of lag in our transmission today, but bear with us. Go ahead, let's play it, please. Thank you so much. Friends, we call on each one of you to follow the Twitter and Facebook handles of this campaign. We want to quickly cross 1,000 followers and we need your support for that. So please ask your friends, your colleagues, your peers, supporters to start following the campaign social media. May I request our communication partners, first partners, to please put in the handles and the link to our Facebook and Twitter accounts so that people can follow it. Please take a minute right now and sign up if you can. Thank you so much to each one of you. You know that you all are crucial stakeholders in this campaign and we have to work together to make this a huge success. This brings me to another important and integral part of this campaign, our brand ambassador. It gives me great joy to announce that Ms. Shikha Malhotra has agreed to be the ambassador of this campaign. Ms. Shikha holds the dual distinction of being an Indian actress as well as a qualified nursing officer. She was born and brought up in Delhi and carries a versatile persona playing various roles, which include that of an actor, a nurse, a trained classical singer and dancer, an anchor, a poetess, a painter, and many, many more. She says humanity is her only religion, and that inspires her to get closely involved in various meaningful causes as a social activist. We feel extremely privileged and honored to have her in our midst today, and I request Ms. Shikha Malhotra, as the brand ambassador of the Nurse Midwife for Change campaign, to please say a few words. Over to you, Ms. Shikha.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. This is the very first time we can see each other finally. Lots of discussions, lots of excitement was there when I was informed by Dr. T. Dilip that I am being the ambassador of this amazing campaign, Nurse Midwifery for Change. So, namaste everyone. This is actress Shikha Malhotra, as Lindsay told. I feel really privileged and really important in my fraternity today, being the brand ambassador of such a campaign where we are here to, share our experiences, discuss the very minute problems which I think nobody thinks about, which nobody imagine about what we face. Whomsoever are new here, let me just I would love to highlight my experience, because I would love to tell you all that after being an actor and coming back to the field, what inspires me, because I say humanity is the only religion. I have been an actor all my life. Since childhood, I've been into dancing, singing, but my mother is a nurse, so I came into this profession, seeing her cherishing, nourishing the patients, sharing the pain, sharing the smile, telling people that yes, you can do it. So a nurse can do anything in the world, that I learned from my mother. And that inspires me to become a nurse. And I've done the BSc Honors Nursing from Safdarjung Hospital. All those years were with me, even when I was here in Mumbai in film industry. Whenever I'm in set, whenever I'm on my work, my shoot, my set, I'm being a nurse totally from my inner being, because a nurse remain a nurse all of your life, because that's what we do. As everybody is saying, Indrani ji have said in the very beginning. I'm so sorry, Indrani ji, taking the different name because I've seen you very first time. So everybody is highlighting that a nurse is a good manager. We are teachers, we are educators, we are, so being a manager, that helps you in your day-to-day life. Even that's what we do, that's what every woman does in her day-to-day life, at your home, with your kids, with your husband, with your family, with your mother, father. And a nurse does this 24 by 7. Even the big thing is that we do this with the strangers. So just after when the lockdown announced in Mumbai, I just recall myself that, okay, I'm not just an actor. First, I'm a nursing officer, and that makes me join the hospital here in Mumbai as an ICU nurse. And so that I did. And I worked for 7 months. I treated a 7-month-old patient to a 88-old Aji. And there I saw the minute expressions of life, of humanity, how we, take care of the strangers, the unknown patient who, don't have anybody in the world. Like, we are the one who are their family. So I'm really privileged to be here, and I really feel blessed that God has chosen me. Even being an actor, coming to this profession, God has given me a new way, and I have been there on the front line, and I've been there with my fraternity. I've not been just an actor sitting at home making videos and dancing and singing. I was there sharing the pain, sharing all the smiles, and I was cherishing, I was nourishing, and I was there on all the COVID hard times. And all the nurses, my brothers and my fellow brothers and sisters who have been there in the field, I really, expect all of them to come ahead, come forward, with their real life stories, being heroes, being real heroes, and like all their experiences, and connect with all our nursing bodies who are here to make everything strong in our favor, in the media and in the public. So as we say that we are ready to, shoot into the media on the behalf of our this campaign, nurse and midwifery campaign, and we are there to, use the social media in the right way. So definitely I'm going to start from today, from now, from this moment, on my Twitter handle, on my Facebook, on my Insta, use all my fans and tell them, because I have a lot of fans who are nursing students. And I remember my student days when I was in Safdarjung. Whenever we used to have break during the classes, during the lunchtime, we used to discuss the minute lacks which we face during the shifts, working in the hospital practically. When it comes to work in the hospital, there are many things which are lacking, and it's the thing, I think it can be very big, it can be very minute. So we are here, and this campaign is especially here to help the nurse and midwives for their issues which they face in general. And I, being a brand ambassador, being an actor, being a nursing officer for all my life, I stand with this campaign. I stand with everybody who is here and who is going to be with us in this journey. So I am really very happy that I have a lot of experiences for which you can see me. I really don't want that you see me as a actor. I want all of you to accept me as your fellow nurse, because first I'm a nursing officer, and that's what I'm going to be all my life. I'm going to remain all my life. So I really thank Dr. T. Dilip, who have been including me since the very first day of all the seminars which are going, day by day, for enhancing the quality of the body which we are, trying and making a healthy body, trying and making for nurses and midwives since starting. So I'm really thankful for all of you who have accepted me and who will accept me as a nurse, as your fellow nurse. And I'll do my best to share my word with everybody around and tell them that what nurses are. A nurse can be everything. A nurse is the most creative, human being, I think, in the world, because you can see me. I write, I paint, I dance, I sing, I act. And that's what, even in my nursing batch, I had many students who used to be trained classical singer, very good in singing. So a nurse can cherish and nourish in each and every way, and she can play every role, mother, sister, whatsoever you want to see in her. She can definitely play the role with her great dignity. So I'm really happy that there is something who have come up which could highlight the dignity which we deserve, we nurses deserve, and the way society see us. There should be a new way where society should know that how difficult it is to play such lot of roles in one body. So it is not actually easy. So I think society should pay the immense respect and love towards nurses, which we deserve. So I think what more I can say? Dr. Dalip has said a lot. Rani ma'am, Sood ma'am have said a lot. So I'm really very happy to become the part of this campaign, Nurse Midwifery for Change, and definitely I'll be the change from today. So thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much, Ms. Richa Malhotra. You really brought the life into this, this campaign launch. I'm sure your words have inspired many in our audience, and we're so happy that someone as deserving as you is going to be our brand ambassador for this meaningful campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to a very critical segment of our inauguration event today, where we will hear from senior leaders of the professional organizations that have come together to extend their unflinching support to this campaign. Moderating this important panel discussion is none other than Dr. Pandora Hartmann, Jhpigo's Chief Nursing and Midwifery Officer. Dr. Pandora brings 2 decades of midwifery experience working in diverse healthcare settings, including the USA, the Caribbean, Southeast Asia, the Arab states, and Africa. She obtained a BSN and induction into Sigma Theta Tau Nursing Honor Society of Nursing from Johns Hopkins University, an MSc in Nursing from the University of California, Los Angeles, and a doctorate of nursing practice from the University of Alabama in Birmingham. After more than a decade of direct clinical service delivery, she began to serve as a midwifery capacity building consultant for organizations including the UNFPA, DFID or UKAID as it is also called, the GIZ, specializing in midwifery and maternal child health services in low-resourced and fragile settings. Named one of the 70 visionary leaders in nursing for the UAB PAHO Collaborating Center for Nursing Excellence, she's also a member of the American Academy of Nursing class of fellows for induction next month in 2021. Elected to the International Confederation of Midwives Boards representing North America and the Caribbean, Dr. Pandora believes in encouraging midwives to push past the perineum for change. It is my absolute honor to hand over the virtual stage to you. Dr. Pandora, over to you.
Thank you very much. This is an exciting day for all of us. All I will say, this has been the quickest pregnancy ever. We went from conception to now birthing this amazing project from day of the midwife in May to here we are with you today. Amazing. And we also have with us, I'm delighted to introduce members of our panel who will discuss salient issues for the nursing and midwifery profession. We have Professor Dr. Roy George, who is a PhD in psychiatric nursing, who brings more than 3 decades of experience in nursing in India. He is an active professional who is currently the academic director of Baby Memorial Hospital and has authored more than 35 scientific articles. He's a member of various boards and an adjudicator in many universities there in India. He is a very active professional, as you can all tell, and is currently the national president of TNAI, the Trained Nurses Association of India. Thank you and welcome, Dr. Roy. Looking forward to hearing from you. We also have with us Dr. Asha Sharma, who is the former principal of the College of Nursing under MOH in New Delhi. She's also a former president of the New Delhi Nursing Council and serves currently as the vice president of the Indian Nursing Council. She obtained her degrees, bachelor's, master's of philosophy, and PhD from the University of Delhi, and enjoys teaching undergraduates. She currently teaches many PhD students under the National Consortium for PhDs in Nursing. She is a renowned publisher and has written 2 chapters on her specialty of geriatric nursing in a medical textbook entitled Geriatric Care in India and Gerontology. She has participated in multiple international, national, and state level workshops, and has also served as a temporary advisor and consultant for the WHO. Thank you and welcome. We also have with us today Mrs. Anita Panwar, who currently serves as the president of the All India Nurses Federation and is the joint secretary in Delhi. She has worked tirelessly for the welfare of nurses in India for years and has done so with her PhD nursing honors and advanced diploma specializing in guidance. She was bestowed state awards from the Chief Minister of Delhi and has been active in committees right till today, even serving on the COVID committee that was called by the Honorable Ministry to address issues that are pending for COVID response. We are very, very proud to have this amazing woman who has fought with governments to get justice for public health nurses throughout her career. She has contributed to multiple modules and articles and is an advocate of the live register of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Thank you. Welcome. What an amazing panel we have lined up with and for us today. So jumping right into our conversation with our panelists, we cannot also forget about the profile of Mitali Andakari, the president of the Society of Midwives in India, who is a proud nurse midwife with 33 years of experience in different capacities, hailing to us from the government of West Bengal. During her experience, she has worked in the clinical field and is currently attached to the government after undergoing an upgrade of midwifery teaching that was organized under SIDA, which has transformed her and brought her to a strong advocacy point for the nurse practitioner midwifery course. She is a great resource person and a master trainer of several core courses, from family planning to skilled birth attendants. She has presented multiple papers, both nationally and internationally, and represents advocacy, enabling environment, and is an active partner in many partnerships, including ours today. Thank you and welcome. So jumping right into our conversation today, I would like to propose one of our first questions to the Trained Nurses Association in India. Looking at your role as a professional association, what would you say are some of the main issues faced by nurses during the pandemic? And what is TNAI's vision for the future of nursing in India?
Thank you for that question. Basically, as everywhere in the world, such a severe pandemic was unexpected, and nurses were, like other health professionals, not well prepared to face the pandemic. But we rose to the occasion, and the first issue which nurses faced was the non-availability of enough personal protective equipments, because infectious disease wards were there only in very few hospitals where they use some equipment. So initially that was a big task, and by the time the administrators or the managements or the government organized it, we also helped nurses. The Nurse Association of India actually mobilized large number of personal protective equipments to help nurses to combat their shortage of these equipments. Other issues nurses faced was with the lockdown on. there was transportation issues, there was quarantine issues. They were quarantined, and there was facilities. Sometimes there were facilities were in long distance, and they had to isolated from their own families with small kids at home and not able to see in the initial wave. That was the problem. And with the support of the government, with the managements, and with the nurses in general, we could help nurses as much as possible. And of course, we had staff shortages in the beginning because there was not many posts remaining unfilled, and nurse shortage was suddenly felt because large number of patients were admitted, especially in the second wave. So that was another issue which was caused a lot of strain on nurses because they had to work excess hours to care for our people. But I'm happy to state that nurses, the great profession, our professionals, rose to the occasion and could get applause from everybody with their selfless service. In this last 1.5 years, we have in India itself, we have lost more than 150 nurses in their line of duty. I pay our tributes to them. They have sacrificed their life for the cause of their profession. And coming back to the what we are planning for the future, like no, as all of you know, 2022 was the year of the nurse and midwife, and in fact, COVID-19 has projected or highlighted the role the nurses play in the health sector, which was very visible. And especially in the initial stages, nursing care was the only thing which was available for the patients and which we could do our maximum, at our maximum best. So looking towards the future, you will use this occasion as a prominent factor to highlight the importance of nursing in overall healthcare, and will try to campaign for more investment in nursing education as well as nursing service, creating more posts of nurses so that we'll be able to retain nurses in India to care for this large population. We have a staff shortage or nurse shortage if you take the population. So we are campaigning for that. And the purpose of this campaign also is to increase investment on nursing education and nursing service. Whereas in India, like 90% of the nursing education is met by private players. We need more government funding to nursing education to improve quality of education. And also we will look forward to ensuring better remuneration and working conditions for nurses so that our nurses will be able to remain in India and provide quality care to the population at large. For that, we will need support of the central and state governments, judiciary, legislature, media, and the public. And this campaign definitely aims at that, to mobilize and sensitize the society as a whole about the importance of nursing in the everyday healthcare of the people. That's it.
Thank you so much. TNAI is a powerful force. It sounds like loads of amazing things on your plate to drive home and make solutions. Turning over to the Nursing Council. You have mentioned several key documents that have come forth for the profession. So, and it's a lot of pages for a lot of people to read. We know everybody's not always going to read everything. So in evaluating those documents, what would you say is the key messaging to take away from the state of the world's nursing or the state of the world's midwifery? And what would be those lines that you would really want the public to remember about? What is the essential communication point? INC? Dr. Asha?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't actually unmute. I said thank you very much, Dr. Pandora, for the very important question raised. These two reports, State of the World Nursing Report in, submitted in 2020, and State of the World's Midwifery Report submitted in 2021. These reports really have very vital, they are very vital to strengthening the nursing and midwifery. And not only in the field of education, practice, as well as for promoting leadership. I find very, very important recommendations being made by these committees, and you will be surprised that our Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, about 2 years back, they had set up 2 working groups to report on the national nursing norms for education, practice, and the service, and also for the state level and national level leadership roles. So luckily, I was one of the members from the Indian Nursing Council representing in those groups. Those the recommendations that we had made, say 2 years back almost, and due to pandemic, I think they had not able to work on that, process that report and take any decision so far. But some of these recommendations are already included in that report, and I would like to share very quickly based on these two reports recommendations, also the SON and the SOMI. Firstly, these recommendations I would like to really communicate, and I wish everybody hears, the stakeholders who are present attending this campaign, and otherwise also who might see later on in the YouTube. These stakeholders, right from the government level, I feel they are the regulatory bodies, they are professional associations, the nursing faculty themselves, the various, associations which are working for the welfare of the nurses. The very important one who's representing here, already AIGNF. And I would really like them to take notice of these messages. Firstly, both the reports, the SON and the SOMI, their recommendations are based on these three areas: the education for nursing and midwifery, the creation of new jobs, sanctioning and recruitment of nurses and midwives on those posts, and thirdly, strengthening the nurse leadership. And our recommendations in these two working groups were also similar, based on these three areas only. So what I want to say in the field of nursing education is that although we have more than, I think, 4,000 to 5,000 schools and colleges of nursing in India, you won't believe, and literally 85% of them fall into the private sector. Only about 10 to 15% are in the government sector. So you can see that in the private sector, mostly they try to compromise with the standards, with the facilities, because they can, spend less and get more of their benefits. So what we have in the government sector, we have good setup of the schools and colleges, the facilities wise, infrastructure, faculty, but sometimes faculty positions, when they get vacant, they may take years to fulfill, fill up those posts. And so people have to really take the workload of those vacant positions. And in the private sector, they would like to appoint less number of people, but try to cover the curriculum implementation. So my main message is that in order to provide quality education to our students, whether it is general nursing or it is specialist that we are preparing, we must have adequate teacher-student ratio. So they must appoint the requisite number of teachers which are required. They should be well qualified and having good experience. And we should have both type of teachers, the generalist as well as the specialist teachers, because we have implemented now, developed and implemented number of post-basic diploma programs in clinical specialty, then nurse practitioner in critical care, nurse practitioner in midwifery, which is likely to be, initiated very soon. And we have also already prepared the nurse practitioner in primary health care program, which is already approved by the government, by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. I think we are only getting approval for the minor ailments guidebook, which is sent to them. And that as soon as it gets, I think we will be able to start even that particular program. So we need to have educators who are both generalists as well as the specialists. So we need to prepare a cadre of nurse educators who have clinical specialization. Because what happens in the service side, the medical people, the hospital administrators, they open the new units, specialty units. They think of the doctor specialist, but they never think of the nurse specialist. And they never think of creating posts for those nursing units where the specialty services are to be given. So I feel first we should also, lay emphasis on preparation of the specialist nurses so that we are there to provide to the consumers and at the management level. So specialist nurses and the generalist nurses, similarly for the midwives also, because in India, I think our general nursing midwifery, the 3-year program diploma and the BSc nursing program, it has the midwifery component. Almost 6 months is there, but that was not found, adequate in terms of ICM competences. So for that, we had started preparing the curriculum for diploma in nurse midwifery practitioner. From 1 year to it is now enhanced to 1.5 years. So this is very important. And similarly, it is not only the teacher-student ratio, but for the midwife and to the mothers, that ratio also has to be maintained so that quality maternal and newborn and child health services can be provided. Then all regulatory bodies.
Thank you, Dr.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was saying we're hearing so strongly your push for us to really dig into the education recommendations of these reports and to look at development of these specialty cadres. We're hearing that strong, push very strongly from you.
Thank you. And also I feel that the Indian Nursing Council and the state nursing registration councils, these are the regulatory bodies. INC, although is primarily concerned with the prescribing the syllabi and the regulations for various programs, but SNRCs, the state nursing registration councils, have to look into its implementation part because they are inspecting the schools and the colleges of nursing. So they have to see whether they are conforming to the standards or not in terms of the facilities, infrastructure, and the faculty. Although Indian Nursing Council also does inspections, but basically the responsibility lies with the state nursing councils and also the examining bodies, the examining boards and the universities. They also should shoulder this responsibility to see that the educational institutes, the schools and colleges of nursing are well equipped with the faculty, the facilities that are required. Then I think there is one thing very lacking in our education sector. We do not sponsor, we do not give opportunities to our teachers to go for any in-service education or go and attend conferences, workshops, So a change from their regular work to attending these things does give more of, motivation, and they learn. And they have to consume their own leave, spend their own money to go through the short courses, register for them. They may not get leave. So there's so many problems in this regard. I think we need to look into this. The government has its own rules and regulations for giving leave, but in the private sector, they never feel, that they should relieve their teachers for this purpose.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Asha. In the interest of time, thank you for this engagement, audience. I think we're going to ask for your permission because we may run about 15 minutes over, but this is such a rich conversation. We really want to hear from our leaders here today. So thank you so much. We will follow up on these education cues. We're hearing strengthening and enabling environment issues as well coming from TNAI. And now we're going to switch gears to AIGNF. Wow. Looking at your role, what would you say would be one of the challenges and the solution to looking at the images of nurses in hospitals and in the community aspect as well, the very important public health nursing piece? We're hearing lots of stories about many nurses even feeling guilty if they're not at the bedside. And we're having to say to them, but you are giving the vaccines, you are taking care of essential services. This is still important. So how can we challenge that? What would be your solution to that image of if we're not at the bedside, it's not nursing?
Good afternoon, everyone. All India Government Nursing Federation. It is a voice of every nurse in India to Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Because whatever issues the nurses are facing while working in the hospital or in the public health, they are convened to policy maker through the All India Government Nursing Federation. There are lots of challenges are there because almost 90 to 95% of the nurses are working in the clinical side, clinical and public health side. And lots of issues they are prevailing are, they are having shortage of manpower. There's a very much shortage of manpower in the hospital as well as the public health. And workload is multifold because of this COVID. During COVID, corona patients were pouring in the hospital as well as the normal routine patients were also there. So nurses, and no new manpower were hired during corona. And even because of shortage also came because quarantine period has to be given to the nurses so that then only they can work. And the main problem is in the community also. Community nurses they were facing during corona time. The community people, they were not accepting them. They were throwing stone at them. They were asking to vacate their houses, and all these was stopped after the intervention of our Prime Minister. And another challenge came during corona, that it came suddenly and without proper training, without proper knowledge. All the nurses has to work with patients. This issue also sorted out by when the All India Government Nursing Federation took with our Prime Minister. He directed DOPT to make one Diksha site through which the nurses can take their training. And in routine also, there's shortage of nurses. They are not unheard. They are underpaid. They are unheard. They are not involved in policy making. Their issues are not solved. Nobody is taking the nursing seriously. Everyone says that nurse is needed, but no one is wants to acknowledge their work. Whenever the patient is admitted in the hospital, he will get 24/7, only the nurse is there. And when he get recovered and leave the hospital, then he will only say thank you to the doctors. They will never see the role of the nurses, which is helping getting recovered. And we have to come all together to get our many pending work to get it to be done at the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So then only the image of the nurses will improve. In the initial phases, the image of nurses was not so good in the society. Even many of the nurses were not ready to tell in the society that they are the nurse. But now, day by day, the image of the nurses are improving in society. Now people started telling about their profession, that they are the nurse. And in the community also, during this pandemic, the maximum workload came on the community, the nurses working in the community, because of because the routine work was also going on, and no manpower were hired, and they were worked. They have to work double time of the prescribed, like of their duty hours. And in future also, after this campaign alone, if we could able to manage the attention of policymaker, and if we are able to convince the policymaker that the nurses should involve in the policy making, then only something can happen for the betterment of the nurses and midwives. Thank you.
Thank you for all the work that you are doing at the policy level to shift change, not just from the bottom up, but from the top down, because we know that's how we do get to change. So turning over to Somi. Wow, there's a lot going on in our profession, as we can hear about in education, practice, and regulation. We also know that image sometimes is an issue, so young men and women can be channeled to other career options, and we're losing. So we're not having enough nurses and midwives because we are not channeling enough in, and then we're getting older and folks are retiring. So from your perspective and your years of experience, what advice would you give to the modern young man or woman who would be contemplating a profession in nursing and midwifery? What would you say to encourage them to either join the profession or continue in their studies? Or to those parents who are saying go to medical school instead? What would you say?
Thank you. Thank you, Pandora, for giving this opportunity to raise this issue. Yes, it's a big issue also. But nowadays also we have seen that so many young women are coming in the nursing and midwifery. But as because the nursing and midwifery they are coming, but the creation of the post that also lacking, and the career pathway and the status, salaries, these are also lacking. So if they are at what the status, at what the educational level, I think the more and more people will, more women, young women will come. And now with the era of the women empowerment also. So they know that from there only we can stand in our leg only, and we can do work itself, myself, and independently. So nursing and midwifery as a profession where we can do something for the self, for the family, for the entire society also. So this is one of the important issues that and also love, dedication. If they are doing something with the dedication for the people, they will then they will get all those things. What we also when we join that time also we are all join young. So why we join here? Because we will get the service, will do something for the community, will just and I want to add that I have started my journey in the obstetrics, labor room, and nursery only. So I had a lot of experience with the mother. So mother needs, woman needs the RNC, quality care also. So for this only, we are advocating our young nurse and midwives and young people also to join in this the nursing and midwifery. And also the NPM course also, we are offering the NPM course so that they can provide the individualized care and quality care and dedicated care to the women, their newborn, and postnatal period also. But it has been seen, they also participated. Our young nurse and midwives also participated. What is happening in the that means either in the ward or in the labor room also, and also I want to share my experience also in the ICSU also. When the patient ICSU care, that time it will give a strength and energy and the working environment also for the individual nurses. So this way they will get satisfied by this. And also another thing is the working environment is needed. So enabling, so Somi is continuously doing the enabling environment, the advocacy for the enabling environment with the help of all the partners which are present here. From JAPIGO, INC, the Nursing Council, State Nursing Council, and TNI, FOGC, everybody, WRI also. So we are jointly doing for the enabling environment for our women, for the mother, or also our midwives and the nurses also. So this way, Somi is doing work, and Somi is motivating, and Somi is empowering, Somi is doing everything. Thank you so much, Pandora. Over to Pandora.
Thank you. And I do love that your acronym SOMI is what we call the State of the World's Midwifery Report for short. SOMI, SOMI. Your words of self, society. Both, I think that says it all. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, we've come a long way and we will go further yet. This campaign today, this launch is just the start. Together, we are going to work for that future that we want to see. The pieces that you have laid out, inspired by notables and nurses and midwives who have gone before. We are going to call upon the legacy of loads of change makers for nursing and midwifery who are not afraid of a little bit of positive disruption. We think of Clara Barton, right? She changed the world with her vision and founding an institution that we're all familiar with today, the Red Cross. Think about her. When you see that Red Cross, think about a nurse did that, who changed the world. If any of you have ever thought about, used family planning, guess what? That was a nurse behind a lot of that too. Nurse Margaret Sanger, who when she saw the poverty, she made a difference. And despite being jailed, harassed, discredited, her legacy lives on today. Because what we do know is that if we want healthcare resources for nurses and midwives to increase, that what is common knowledge about our profession must increase. We know that the media plays a key role in shaping attitudes. So we're going to educate the world about what we as nurses and midwives do. And we is really going to include those who are crafting public policy and media to raise awareness. We must speak out. We must stand out. Neither angels nor battle axes, but we are highly trained and skilled professionals. We are not just about lack, we are about solutions. Now is our time. Now is our chance to uplift our profession. So go ahead, tweet, IG, Facebook, talk, tell the tales. Who are we? What we do, what we stand for. Talk more loudly, broadly, widely about what we can do, what we have done, and what we will do. Because we are shaping the future actively, shaped by those who are. Hashtag nurse midwife for change. Thank you all so much for joining us today. So get out there, spread the word, and we will be the change we wish to see. Thank you for joining us.